I first flew the Victor engines in 1982, and I chose Victor because of his great reputation. I went up to Victor Aviation and took a look at his shops and met with his people, and it seemed to me to be a clean room environment. Everybody was very responsible about what they were doing, and each person had a certain task to accomplish. I performed 570 air shows without a problem and 4,800 hours of flying time. I've had complete reliability and safety throughout all of those flights, and you have to remember that those engines are receiving the worst punishment any engines could ever receive. During most of the maneuvers, I would accelerate the engines to maximum power. Then, while diving the aircraft to the red line airspeed, abruptly shut off the engines and feather the propellers. The worst shock situation you could expose the engines to. This would create the maximum energy I needed to perform my engine out flight maneuvers, which I have called the Energy Management Series. After completion of the engines off maneuvers, the engines are unfeathered, the props are unfeathered, and the engines are started again. Not once in my many years of flying Victor engines did an engine ever fail to restart. And believe it or not, I never had any major problems while flying consecutively to TVO several times. You know, one thing that impressed me about Victor's engines is that Victor doesn't modify the engines, he just perfects them to operate the way the original engineers intended them to operate. The airspeed was several knots faster than it had been before those engines were installed. But I think the most significant thing was the lack of vibration. You can pick up a resonance in an airplane, and generally it comes from the engines or the props. But everything about these engines are so well balanced that there was practically no shake at all. And that is very impressive, especially when you've been living with shake all your life. Thanks to Victor Sloan and his dedicated group of professionals, they have provided me with the quality, performance, and reliability that has allowed me to perform my flight maneuvers routinely for years, and the engines never missed a beat. In my business, I can't afford anything but the best. That's why I chose Victor engines. You will see the Shrike powered by Victor in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., alongside many other great legendary aircraft.